How we doing? How we doing, like juicy fruit? Previously on KIMBA TV. Yeah, but definitely get caught up on last night's because yes, Pixel Perfect 175, and who was I telling yesterday? I think it was Johnny Rambo. I said, Johnny, maybe we get away with it, but most likely it's gonna go lower. So do you remember the TA that we did last night? Already ready. Remember, plan A is good, but real preparation is about plan B, plan C, plan D. You dig? I think the biggest alpha from yesterday's stream is like this. Yeah, but we have Schultz. And we'll expect this to break. We'll go to value area low, and we'll see if this is going to hold. I don't think it will. That's about it. Happy 420. 21 slippage says, is it valid if I pull a fib from that wick 1193 as a starting point, drag it to point of control? Yeah, that would be invalid. You can't do that. I mean, you can do that, but that's not really the right way to use it. You need to anchor it from an actual point. So like this. Okay, so like within this whole range, you could make the argument that this is the impulse. Okay, so you might be able to do something like from here to here. That's about it. You're kind of pushing it with this too. You're already kind of pushing it with this, but maybe something like this. Yeah, I think what would be better is something like this. Okay, so I think this is a better fib, 21 slippage, and acknowledging the 382 that's there, and the golden pocket lines up at easy money and value area low. Holy fuck. Take the anchor VWAP from the pivot. Yeah, I guess those are your two levels, 21 slippage like this. Shit, like this shit is too easy. You guys understand where I'm coming from? It's not that I'm literally talking about trading being easy. It's about remembering shit. It's about understanding what it would need to do if it really was bullish and what it would need to do if it really was bearish. It has nothing to do with predicting the future, right? Obviously, you're going to have to place a bet on the direction. Either you're going to take a long or a short, but it's not about being right or wrong. All right, level by level, no surprises, okay? We locked in? Yeah, you know, and you never have to have like the pixel perfect top or bottom. You know, it's not bad if you do have it, but there's always a scalp long, a scalp short, right? If you, whichever way you want to go. How we doing? Damon, Zendi, RPM, Latisse, HKP, MJ, Mark, Blaze, Gamer Girl, what's going on? Psycho Talent, Lab M, Vladimir, Psycho Talent. Mr. No Money says, but caught up to the stream. Awesome. I appreciate you doing that. Any questions, Mr. No Money? I mean, you know everything that I know at this point, right? Get above the yellow, probably bullish for the smaller time frame. Otherwise, it's just a normal movement back up. I think the point of control is not a good support zone. I think the whole CME gap gets filled. We still have 4 or 5 hours left. Let's keep lettucing up. Let's keep juicing up. You know, I don't even know what else to say. I feel like literally everything's been talked about. So correct me if I'm wrong. Use me. I'm at your guys' service. I'm here for you guys. Let me know how I can help. All right, we got some big ass giveaways coming up. When I juice, y'all juice. Exclamation giveaway. We're gonna do a BLOFIN giveaway. We're gonna do a KCEX giveaway. We're gonna do a WEEX giveaway. We're gonna continue to do the BTCC giveaway. We're gonna continue to do the 2-bit. Pretty much everybody is gonna win $500. If you haven't already, that is. Shay says, I popped my head in around 6 to 7, but assumed you weren't on. You saw me though, right? Yesterday. Juice. Mark says, ha ha ha, that yellow line man. It's got to be testnet, chat. The thing is I've been doing this every day for the last 4 years. So, you know, when I say shit like, if you think we're testnetting, you're just not watching. Does that make sense? And it's not because like I'm calling it out. I feel like you guys should be able to do all this shit. I don't think I've done or explained or shown anything that is beyond outside of basic strategy. I mean, it's FOMC week, so I'm going to probably tone it down on the crackhead TA, right? I really want everybody to juice the fuck up this week. And I'm not talking about money. I'm talking about seeing shit like this. Like you guys got to see structure, continuation, level identification, the power of VWAP and fibs. You know, even if you have no positions so far today, you still juiced. You got to see some real easy money, Bugatti money. Thanks. John Kata says, how was your trading before this 4 years ago? In an abstract sense, it's always been the same. I've always tried to look at data, but what data I looked at has always changed. So I definitely put a lot more priority into divs that lined up and confluenced on fibs. Like if you joined me 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, you're really fond of the bull divs that would show up on golden pockets, right? And then a couple months after that, you're really all about the 7.5. Like you can see this transformation, brother, where I would have golden pocket entries a lot. Then I started to get pixel perfect 7.5 longs and shorts. Remember that? And then we started to throw in some like single prints and like bad highs and bad lows and really implementing time and TPO into our strategy. And then we looped back and really started to emphasize VWAP, but on CME. And we started to implement CME, you know, in the last 2 years, really, really heavily. December 2023 Streamathon is when I told you guys that MEXC was going to start doing KYC and I'm going to start trading on CME. I don't know if you guys remember that. That was 2 years ago. December 2023 is when I started to say, hey guys, MEXC next year, 2024, they're going to do KYC. And I'm going to start moving money to CME and I'm going to start trading CME. Yeah, so it's been a wild, you know, you can go back and look at the highlights, but the OGs can probably best tell you. Ask the people that have been here for 3-4 years how my transformation has been. Yeah, and I hope I can continue to learn new shit and improve and make more money and juice up. You know, otherwise, what the fuck am I doing? Prismecum says, I have a question about psychology. I read the market good. I know where I want to trade. Usually I'm right, but I'm waiting for my level, waiting. They are stopping still, not on level, and I go to position too early. Next 5 minutes, they go to the level, and I have my position in loss for hour or two on not as good level, which is stupid. I tip how to handle this. Why don't you commit to this idea that you're only going to take the position if it gets to the level that you're waiting for? Okay? Because the next thing after you have that discipline is to be able to say, okay, I'm going to say from here to here, I'm going to identify a zone and I'm going to allow myself to chase it all the way through the zone. But before you can do that, you need to be able to say, I'm going to stop FOMOing. So you're patient for 90% of what you need to be, but then you lose patience in the last 10%. So that's okay. But I would just, you need to have like a protocol or some sort of commitment that says, I'm not going to take this trade if it doesn't go to this level, and just stick to it. And you need to sit there and miss a couple trades too and be okay with it probably. Joan Kata says, I remember I started watching you when you looked at a lot of single prints. Yes, especially when trading light was still working, right? Ayo Gain says, I had an amazing Friday with my daughter at Sky Zone. That's awesome. Thomas says, did you see ARK bought up the Tesla dip at 300 heavily? It doesn't surprise me because fucking Kathy Woods, all she does is trade triangles. But remember, I said this is the first aggressive long, this would be the second aggressive long, and then this triangle would be the third aggressive long. Do you remember when we drew this? And we said if it breaks to the upside, that's kind of what we're looking at, right? The opening of the triangle. So that's the EV, or I mean that's the target. And then if it breaks down, yeah, so it's still, we'll trade whichever way it wants to go. But this is her TA. Her pitch deck. We're going to spend, guys, we're going to buy $50 billion more, okay? Why? Because it's a triangle. It's not a circle, it's a triangle. Okay, it's a circle. Love is like a circle. Oh yeah, I was muted. Does the Bugatti line mean naked point of control? No, this is what I call value area important. Let's just call it that. Even before the value area, because how long ago did we have easy money Bugatti money? It was all here. We had it before like the Coinbase Wick of Destiny. But it's basically what I would consider value area important. It just so coincidentally happens that with all this price action, the value area low now also lines up there. But it was a value area important before the value area low came in anyways. Okay, the Bugatti money is above bullish, below bearish type of shit. All right. How long have you been here today, brother? Do you have any other questions? I want to make sure everybody juices the fuck up this week. You good? Anything else, Panda? Anything else? You ready for FOMC on Wednesday? If you're looking for a scalp long, let me know. I think it's pretty fucking obvious that if you haven't taken the point of control long yet, you're looking at value area low. And then most likely you're looking at a lower low. So I'm talking about you're getting maybe a 110, a 109, 108. Obviously it's level to level. It could just sweep this. It could just sweep this and that, but you're gonna probably make a lower low if you lose value area low here because there's no volume here. So first level here, we knew that having a little bit of a bounce, there might be a little bit of a bearish absorption. That's fine. No big deal. We knew that was going to happen. Let's make sure to figure out when we would be able to identify bullish trend or bullish narrative happening on the smaller time frame. Okay, so that's where we drew that line. It should be this high and this low. So theoretically, you would that's the box that you would draw like that. But that is again also like a repetition of how we did like the Tesla box, for example. But anyways, so yeah, so just level to level. So nothing has changed. It couldn't get back above that level, so the bearish narrative is still on. How would we confirm that that was the bearish retest? It's going to make a lower low. So we're just waiting, yeah? And then I guess if you were really thinking about longing, this is kind of what you need to start thinking about. But just like how we did it with these bottom shorters setting the top, these top longers are now going to set the bottom. I don't know if it's here. I don't know if it's here. I don't know if it's going to be here on a SFP. Really interested in seeing the reaction here because there's a lot of underwater longs. This is glowing like a radioactive fucking tropical frog. I don't know, but this is really, really, really glowing, like like flashing. Ah, fuck. No mames. Kimba, do you think they're gonna sweep the low tomorrow? They're gonna sweep it, right, Kimba? Kimba, do you think we're gonna... Ladies and gentlemen, brilliant. Woo! He not juicing. Oh, Lord have mercy. He not juicing. It's a hedge. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. You know when it's real, that's enough. Yeah.
The man.
Know what you're thinking.
How many of y'all were here since the beginning of the stream? How many of you guys were here since the beginning of the stream? Do you guys remember when we nerded out on all this? When we talked about the close? First off, shout outs to everybody that was here for the yesterday's Sunday CME stream.
You just said.
Moses is saved, ladies and gentlemen. They got the gap. But yeah, Gucci stuff. Somebody shorted $23 million at the gap fill. Gap fill and also his gap filled. So the only thing that you're thinking about, owner Zera, is the idea that if a level really did bearishly retest, then it would be able to continue the bearish narrative. And one of the most easiest ways to affirm that would be a lower low. A lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. Okay? And start looking for it. You'll see what I mean. Latisse, Mark, MATT, let's go. Luki Mutuki says, short still good. Well, this is a great opportunity. Luke Kuki Mutuki. I don't know if you're a good trader or if you know what you're doing if you tell me your entry and TP. You know how I know you're a good trader? You tell me where your stop loss is. So Cookie Matuki, if you think that, taking an entry and waiting for the TP is how you trade, dead wrong. You got to manage it and read data constantly. Okay? Do you see that somebody bottom shorted $23 million literally at the bottom? That's not cool. That's not cool, man. And these are 5-minute candles, not the usual 30-minute. He literally shorted $23 million at gap close. Oh, hell no. Yeah, he might have fucked this shit up. That being said, I don't know if you were here in the beginning of the stream. I don't know if you got to see yesterday's CME stream. But the only thing that we were talking about is the gap getting filled.
Shut up, bitch. You gonna learn today.
Thank you, Kevin Hart. So far for today, we're done. Mission accomplished. Yeah, were you here earlier in the day when we were comparing and contrasting ETH versus RTH? So that's where, let's do this. Okay. So far, check. I think maybe the long could come tomorrow, but this could be it too. Order flow isn't bullish, but that's okay. If you start to see increase in open interest above value area high, then that's your final sign that the long is probably good. Nitrogen says, hey, Kimba, sorry for a stupid question. It's not a stupid question, but GFP, fill, gap fill, it means neutral signal in our situation is bullish. ETH gap fill, this neutral. I think it would have been better to see the full RTH gap fill settlement bullish retest today. Zenith Buskry. Oh yeah, but anyways, Cookie Matuki, what I was gonna say to you, brother, was use this as you're in the green right now in the short, right? Cookie Matuki. So I think it's gonna go. Look, I'm gonna. But here's the thing, Cookie Matuki. Brother, there's going to be so many times when I will be wrong. And if you sit there and your reaction is, fuck, I should not listen to this guy. Dude, that's not improvement. That's not learning. You know what I mean? Hey, Kimba, the only thing I learned is to not fucking listen to you. You don't want to be that guy. This is your money. You need to feel confident about whatever it is that you're pulling the trigger on. And so if you're in the green, I'm in green, sir. Awesome. So Cookie Matuki, would it be fair to say, Cookie Matuki, maybe it's not fair. Maybe you think it is fair. Tell me what you think. If you can't stick to your plan and TP where you're supposed to, move your stop loss into profit when and where you're supposed to, when you're in a green trade, I don't know if you can do all of that, aka do the right thing when you're in the red. If you can't do what you prepared and planned to do when you're in profit, I think you're going to have a really hard time doing the right thing when you're in the red. So use this as an opportunity to still stick to your plan. The open interest is a little bit funky, okay? In the grand scheme of things, 23 million is not too crazy, but I don't know what the fuck that guy is thinking, trying to get cute and bottom short on the gap fill. Okay, if I saw him in somewhere in Lithuania, I would slap the shit out of him. So as long as that's not you, we're good. All right, but put your stop loss at break even tiny profit. Do you want to talk about where you should start shaving? So obviously getting back above point of control would be not cool. Okay? Getting time or building value above this green line, this red line, not cool. Hopefully this is a bearish retest of the point of control, right? So we had bearish retest. It found support. It found support this whole time. Look. So this next 30-minute candle close in 6 minutes, holy fuck. Wouldn't it be nice if it like the dot circle was right here on the red line? So Kuki Mutuki, you just need to go to 30-minute, have the value area high, point of control, value area low, switch to 30-minute, stare at volume, stare at open interest. Let's go. If I asked you if is there a divergence here? Is there a divergence here? You would be able to tell me yes or no, right? It's not meant to be a trick question. So if I asked you, what would be the reason that maybe some people took longs here? Would you be able to say open interest edge? Would you be able to tell me what kind of divergence was there? Would you be able to articulate CME gap fill? You should be able to argue both a bullish and a bearish scenario, right? And would it be fair to say that the next like 2, 3 30-minute candle closes are important? I swear to God, somebody was asking me today about what would make you like close your long or be bearish or blah, 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 blah. And one of the things that we talked about was time spent below the point of control, like 2, 3 30-minute candle closes below. Raptora says you want to say bullish retest, not bearish. What do you mean? No, this would be a bearish retest. Look, support, support. It even found support earlier. Resistance, support, support, support. So something like a higher high and then turning this back into support, that will be bullish. What I would love is if it pixel fucks and this dot right here closes on the red line and I can go, oh, pixel fucking. Yes. But yeah, it's 33 minutes away from RTH. You know they're gonna be doing some goofy, so. Till next time. I would say that. I mean, I don't know. Like, let's say for example that this doesn't reject here. And it actually like finds its way back. Maybe I'll pop in like if it's about to break this, because then like we would be thinking about this again, this box. Yeah, so maybe like if we're up here, maybe I'll pop in, but it's not like I would take, a a long or a short here. I would have to wait for RTH anyways. It might be better for me to just go to bed early and then show up early tomorrow, you know, like pre-market. So I'll probably prioritize showing up pre-market. Yeah.